Hey everyone, Pastor Nathan here. We're still reading through Matthew's Gospel together, and now we're in Matthew chapter 16. Before I jump to the kind of obvious section of Matthew 16, Jesus does a couple things as we're transitioning from Matthew 15. The first is that the Jewish leaders are asking for a sign, and Jesus has just kind of basically had enough with them. He said, no, you're not going to, you guys know how to interpret the times, but you don't know what you're looking for when it comes to the thing that you wanted all this time, which is the Messiah, which is me. And then after that, what he does is he recognizes that the teachings of the Sadducees, the teachings of the Pharisees, one of the things that they can do is if you let them get into like your life, your spiritual life, or the disciples' spiritual life, it can absolutely take over and change things, just like a little yeast basically can change the consistency of the dough. So also the teachings that the disciples would have been exposed to from the Pharisees and the Sadducees would change how they related to their God. We should not take that lightly. What we put inside of us, what we listen to, the different sources that disciple us as God's people in the 21st century, whether that's YouTube or Facebook or TikTok or the news channels or your political party, whatever, they have a discipling effect and impact. And a little leaven goes a long way. And just a little bit of that, if we're not careful, can change the whole consistency of our faith and how we follow Jesus. So we need to be on our guard against the leaven of whatever is in our culture that is opposed to or might distract us from what our God wants us to be about. This actually then is demonstrated in two other little sections here. The first is that Jesus asks who they say that he is, and Peter confesses Jesus that he is the Christ, the Son of the living God. Peter has this remarkable statement of faith. And Jesus says, this was not revealed to you by flesh and blood. This comes from the Father in heaven. And then, like immediately after this in the narrative, Peter's got it all wrong. Jesus says, I'm going to go die. And Peter says, you will never die. And Jesus absolutely hammers Peter and says, no, this is from Satan. This is from below, not from above. And and this is sort of an example, if you will, of this leavening effect of the teachings. That Peter was expecting an earthly, physical Messiah who would not have to die, but who would kick the Romans out and so forth. Perhaps that was what he was expecting. And that was because of the predominant teaching of the day about the Messiah and the expectations that the Jewish community had about the Messiah. And Jesus says, no, this is wrong. This is not about me setting up an earthly kingdom. It's bigger than that. It's more eternal than that. But Peter was blinded by the leavening effect of the teachings of the day, to an extent, the popular opinion or what have you. So, for us then, we need to be on our guard that we are not under a different authority than Jesus is as we follow him, that we're not letting other things influence us that are not of him, that influence how we follow him in this world. So, hope that's helpful for you. Next time, Matthew 17. Take care.